Two criminals, recently released from prison, decide to kidnap the daughter of a rich businessman. Preparing carefully for the crime, they steal a car and change its license plates. Going to the nearest construction supermarket, they buy plastic sheeting, barn locks, soundproofing material, and other improvised devices. Having rented an apartment, they prepare a room where they will keep the kidnapped girl and arrange a place for the ransom transfer in advance. When they arrive at the place, they wait for the victim, put on masks so that no one recognizes them, and kidnap the girl walking quietly on the street. After pushing her into the car, the kidnappers drive to a prearranged apartment and tie the victim to the bed, cutting off all the extra clothes and removing the SIM card from the phone. They change the girl into a tracksuit. A gag in her mouth prevents her from screaming, and because of the bag on her head, Stella can't see anything. A few minutes later, the kidnappers return to her and demand her father's email and cell phone number in order to demand a ransom. After taking a few photos of the girl in front of a fresh newspaper, Vic copies them to a flash drive and leaves. Tom has to keep an eye on Stella and check on her every 10 minutes to make sure she doesn't suffocate. A short while later, Vic returns to the apartment to contact the girl's father. He bought some cell phones and dummy SIM cards so that the police can't trace them. Entering the kidnapped girl's room, Vic offers her a few sips of water, but on the condition that the girl doesn't scream. Naturally, she promised to keep quiet, but started screaming as soon as the opportunity arose. The man once again reminded the rules of behavior and demanded to follow them if Stella wanted to stay alive. If the girl wants to go to the bathroom, she must make a special gesture with her hand. If she shows one finger, it means she wants to go for a small one, if two, for a big one. When Stella learns the rules, she immediately shows the special gesture and one finger. Tom brings her a special container, and Vic pulls down his pants. Realizing that no one is going to untie her, Stella relaxes and does her thing. During lunch, Tom refuses to eat as he has no appetite. Vic believes that lack of appetite is stress, which is negatively affecting the job and could put their case at risk. He gets his partner to eat and stop thinking about feeling sorry for the girl or overplaying anything. Vic leaves again to run errands. Tom looks at the photo and gazes into Stella's frightened eyes. Deciding to visit the girl, he puts on a mask and goes into her room. She once again wants to use the restroom, but this time shows two fingers. Taking a bucket and toilet paper, the kidnapper partially frees her from her shackles. Stella is embarrassed and asks the guy to turn away, but uses this to attack him and snatch the gun. Tom offers to take the keys and attack the girl, but she manages to shoot, stunning the guy. Taking off the mask, she sees that under it was hiding her former lover, with whom she broke up 4 months ago. The girl wants to tell him something important, but Tom again attacks her and handcuffs her to the bed. Back in the apartment, Vic talks about the fact that Stella's father refused to pay and offered Tom a little rest. A little later, he asks the guy to help him record a video message that will convince the businessman to give the required amount. Vic wants to deprive the girl of a finger and prepares everything for this. Stella begs her father to help her and apologizes for her behavior, telling him that she has been pregnant for 4 months. After doing some simple math, Tom stops his accomplice as he thinks the threatening video will be enough. Back in the room, Vic tries to feed the girl, and Tom notices a shell casing lying near the bed. He tries to pick it up, but thereby arouses his partner's suspicion. Using the opportune moment, Tom picks up the casing and the fallen spoon, hiding the evidence in his pocket. Locking himself in the toilet, the guy tries to drown the casing, but nothing works. The former cellmate suspects something wrong and starts breaking into the room. Realizing that there is no other choice, Tom swallows the casing. Vic calms down, as he thinks that his friend is just nervous and stressed. As soon as the sidekick goes to an internet cafe to send the video, Tom goes to the girl's room again. He doesn't believe her pregnancy and, after stroking her belly, is finally convinced that she's lying. Stella suggests checking her phone, as it is full of calls to the gynecologist. But Tom is not so stupid. If he puts in a SIM card, the police will instantly track them down and catch them red-handed. Back in the room, Tom sees that the girl is vomiting and frees her. She hugs her former lover and starts to kiss him, but uses this as a distraction and shackles the guy's arm. Stella tries to escape, but the doors are locked and she doesn't have the keys. Then she calls the police, but because of the delays, she realizes that there is no hope for them either. Noticing the keys not far from the house, she wants to collect them, but the kidnapper rips out a piece of the bed frame and kicks her in the head. Strapping Stella to the bed, he puts everything back in place before Vic arrives. Vic returns with good news. His father has responded to the message and is willing to pay 4 million euros. Going down to the parking lot, Tom drives the car closer to the exit and notices on the floor things that fell out of the girl's bag. Among them, he finds a medical card confirming the due date and pregnancy. Stella realizes it's his baby. He wants to help the girl, but he can't go against a more authoritative accomplice. Meanwhile, Vic finds Stella's cell phone and threatens her to tell her how it got into her hands. Turns out she's Tom's ex-girlfriend and wasn't a random victim. Finding a bullet in the insulation material, Vic is ready to shoot the girl if she doesn't tell them how it really was. Fearing for her life, Stella tells everything that happened before his arrival. Meeting with his sidekick, Vic asks Tom if he is with him to the end. Tom fears for his life and doesn't tell what happened, but this only makes things worse. Having put the girl to sleep, the kidnappers take her to an old boathouse and chain her to a wooden support. Tom was supposed to follow the girl, but Vic offers to go with him. Arriving at the pre-designated spot, Tom goes to the hiding place and sees that it is empty. It turned out that the accomplice gave the girl's father other coordinates, and the guy was lured here to finish him off. Using a distraction, Tom tries to escape, but the former cellmate manages to wound him. Before he escapes, taking the money, he decides to return to the boathouse and kill the girls, since she knows his real name and can tell the police about it. Arriving at the old building, he is about to inject the girl with a deadly poison, but a wounded Tom returns in time and hits his sidekick in the head. Vic shoots the guy one more time and wants to finish him off, but Stella helps disarm the kidnapper by grabbing the gun that fell on the floor. Tom kills his former cellmate with one last shot. He crawls over to Vic's corpse and finds the keys, tossing them aside for Stella to free herself. Removing the handcuffs and collar, the girl tries to help Tom, but only watches him slowly die. Once outside, she spots Vic's car and heads towards it. Sitting behind the wheel, Stella tries to come to her senses and calm down as she suddenly notices a bag with money on the passenger seat. Rejoicing at such a generous reward, she realizes that she can start her life with a clean slate, providing for herself and the expected baby. Gathering all her will in a fist, she drives off towards a happy future. And that's where the movie ends. You are on the channel on Recap Roman. Don't forget to subscribe and put a like to not miss new videos.